I've never been given any cutoffs from any of my parents, any of my siblings. It feels like a super like, oh, well, this is what I can do.
Right.
Not everyone has this in their life. And I think Maria Bamford talked about like her sister at some point said, I don't want you talking about me in your stand-up.
And there's nothing that you, because I do have one or two things that feel like too painful because we're still in it a little bit that have to do with someone else that I would feel bad talking about. You've got nothing that you would.
Oh, there's certain things. But no, it's more about Tova. Tova was like new where I was like, oh, there's things. She says, I don't want you talking about a conflict that hasn't been resolved yet.
Yes.
Oh.
So at one point, I mean, it's not. It's
even
not
if it's between the two of you.
Just the two
that's
of us.
Tough. That is tough,
East.
though. You're right.
Yeah.
That would have
boy.
been. That would. If you can only talk about things in the world that are resolved, making you the most boring fucking person there ever was.
We got to call a ceasefire because I got so much
I
material on
got
this.
so much to say, but I can't
this
talk
is
about
really
it.
affecting him in ways you can't even imagine.
So I had this thing happen. I was at a comedy club. I'll keep it vague.
Okay.
But if you look at the date on the calendar, you can figure it out. This is coming out in October, just so you know.
Okay.
We're ahead. So I'm performing.
Yep.
Stand-up comedy.
You're on
headlining.
stage, or
On stage, yeah. There's a man and a woman to my stage left.
Okay.
And they're like his arms around her.
Uh-huh.
You know, and I'm just it's a late show. I'm being loose, being goosey. I say I start talking to them. I'm talking about dating. I say, what about you guys? How long you been together? And they go like, oh, we just met. And I'm like, you just met? And it's like, yeah, we met here at the club. And I was just like, well, that's so strange. And I noted, I said, and your arms around her. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You guys are hitting it off. And it's like, and then they both get kind of cagey and weird. And I don't know why. Right? From on stage, I go, maybe they just met and they're sluts. And they don't want to like,
slots.
yeah. Or maybe they do know each other, but they don't want to have this conversation. Maybe they're lying.
They're playing a little, because sometimes people do that. They go, we just met, haha, and then you go, okay.
Especially couples. Couples they're the ones who like, hey, when the comedian asks us, let's say that we're brother and sister before we kiss.
They love that.
Yeah,
They love
and then
that.
it's like, well, I have no
God.
frame of reference for you, so there's good one.
Yeah.
So they're being weird.
Yeah, they're being weird. And you know, I'm trying to joke off it about just how intimate and how they act surprised that I said they're a couple, and I like make some joke like he's fingering her while answering my questions.
Sure.
Like, what do you mean? We just met. And yeah,
Good one.
And real big act out. I did a hump. Sometimes I hump the mic stand because I'm like, well, humping the stool is cliche, but if I hump the mic stand, that's original.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think what the second part of it was like. He was like sheepish when I mentioned the arm and kind of put it away. And so then I start thinking, I have this thought. I go, is he being physically touchy-feely and she's not
Comfortable. Oh no.
So suddenly I go there and I'm on stage, and again, I don't know which it is. Maybe they're flirting, maybe they're having a good time. I don't want to be the guy saying, hey, you're being a little rapey over there.
Also, you've got really limited info that you're working with.
And
Totally.
and it's one of those things where like I don't have the capacity to talk to her.
Right.
You know, so I'm like, I'm even like trying to joke through it.
Yeah.
I don't go, hey, miss, can I talk to you for a second off stage? I go like,
Which would be
wink
weird to
if you
you.
need some help.
Yeah.
Wink if you need some help.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then later I come back to them a couple times, but at some point it's kind of clear that they were seated there together. The club seated a man and a woman who did not know each other at a table in the front row. A little strange.
Yeah.
So I find that out, and that starts. I lean in towards like maybe he's being whatever, and I like joke.
We
them
find that out while you're performing?
while I'm
or
performing. This is all during the headlining set.
And you found that out from them?
From them.
Yeah.
Because
They
Homer's
said
like,
that.
Yeah, I mean,
And
otherwise
then I
how?
was, and it was like, so now I'm like clocking at the whole show.
Right.
And I'm like, you know, it's her arm is not around him.
Sure.
His arm is
Yeah.
around her. And so then I kind of like roasted a little bit, and he kind of puts his arm away, and I go, okay, well maybe I diffused it. But then later, like I clock throughout the show, he'll do one of these where if I tell a joke, tell one of my jokes. You're the woman and the comedian. I'm the guy.
Okay. Moist or crunchy. Oh man, okay. Yeah.
And I
Okay.
see it.
He's-
And I see it.
And
I
what
clock
was
it.
she doing? Was
So-
she going
so-
like this, or was she
No.
leaning in?
She wasn't leaning in, but she wasn't leaning away.
Oh boy.
And then
Okay.
and so again, I just go like, is this a budding
Right.
romance?
Right.
That it would be so weird. But I'm also like something, and then I go to them again, and she says that she bought him a drink. She says she
Great.
bought him a drink, and I
Okay.
go, well,
They're
she bought
flirting.
him a drink. They're flirting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then as I'm talking to her, another woman goes, no, I said, like, you think you're going to see each other again? And she goes, oh, well, I have a test to study for in the morning. So then I'm back on to,
Right.
uh-oh. And then another woman at a table goes, she shook her head. No, she's not into it. And I'm like, oh, I
Great
should probably
lady.
follow. She's probably right. Womanly and just body language things
Yeah.
that I can't tell as a
Right.
guy. And again, I just don't know what to do. And eventually, like, they stop touching, and I finish up the show, and I like find her immediately. I'm like, "Hey, is everything cool?" And she's like, "Yeah, he was being handsy.
Oh,
I
damn.
got placed at the table, and I'm like, do you want me to walk you to your car? Do you want me to?" But during the show, I was making jokes,
Right.
And it was
Yeah.
like it was one of those things. I'm like. I was joking. I said, I'll see you all, guys. I guess we'll all see each other again in court soon.
Right.
And in my mind, I'm like, if she gets assaulted, this is not
Right.
going to look good at all.
Oh
Yeah.
God, that would be.
The worst part is at the beginning, I thought I had a new crowdwork clip, and by the end, I was like, I'm not posting this.
Yeah.
It got
Yeah.
weird.
I kept it from getting weird. But I kept in my head, I just kept asking myself, like, should I be making it weird? Is it my responsibility to
Yeah.
be making it weird? Is this clear? And I'm wondering if you would have behaved any differently.
Was he giving you daggers? How was he looking at you?
No, he was just looking like embarrassed and sheepish, like real like fan vibes.
Because he was probably trying to have it like slip in where it was like it's like one of those things where it was just all going off of energy, and then when you called it out, it was like, oh yeah, this is kind of weird that I'm doing this.
But then later, I swear, when I saw this thing,
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I hate that.
Yeah, but
Like
also, like, how did it is crazy to be like, just to put your arm around a stranger.
it's nuts.
It's nuts.
It's nuts in a public.
And how do you do that? First, like, were they talking, or was it no talking, and then all of a sudden just
I've done it.
you've done it?
to
Yeah.
a stranger.
Yep.
That you met at the show.
Maybe not even talked. Yeah. I've done it. I've done it before. I'll probably do it again. But this is what it is. It'll be like we're talking, and I'd only do it with a guy, and it would say we're having fun. Like there'd have to be some type of body language that indicated that we were comfortable, or like, you know, like when you laugh at the same thing and you make eye contact with someone.
Yeah.
So I would maybe say we're watching a show, ha ha, or we're at a dinner party. We're at a dinner party. You say something, me and the guy will go, ha ha ha. It's later in the night. I don't drink, but say lots of people. It's like getting loose a little bit. Then
Yeah.
I would maybe put my arm around the back of the chair to like indicate like I'm comfortable. We're having fun.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
The first when you
No,
first
that's
put your
not-
arm up, it was natural. It didn't feel that
It
crazy.
feels like-
we have a long relationship
That's so
together.
true. That's so true.
And we
saying without
scooched a little.
talking?
Yeah, without talking. But if we were all in the same thing, and I wouldn't do it around him, but I would do it around the back of the chair, I would probably do
Got
that.
it.
Because
I'd be
I'm trying,
shocked if someone did that.
even if it was something that looked like me. Like I'd be trying to show, like I would be trying to show, like we're comfortable. Like
If I was single,
Yeah.
and you did that, I go, oh,
no way, no way,
yeah,
no way,
yes,
no
If you
way.
were single, and so someone put their arm, you wouldn't go,
Me.
oh.
No, not
Yeah.
necessarily.
way.
And I don't
Because
know
I'm
you,
a-
and I don't know
I'm a
your
big-
body of work, and I don't know you have.
But for me, I'm a
Latina
big guy,
girlfriend.
so people are always kind of like big guy,
Sure,
you know, like that
sure.
kind of thing. Yeah,
You get a lot of people putting their
You
arm
assume
around
they
you.
just want
yeah,
they
they're
want
just
a
like,
best
you know,
friend.
you're a big guy, so people just be like, hey, this, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
this haunch,
You know. Yeah, I'll do it as like I'm trying to just be like friendly. Like I would do it, but I wouldn't touch the person, but I would do it around the back of their chair if we were all like in a similar conversation.
Yeah.
And if I was at a comedy show and I was trying to flirt with someone, we were all like laughing, have a good time, I'd maybe put it on the back, and then like if they seemed into it, I'd maybe like put it up.
I mean, you're acting like laughing at a comedy club is like a unique, like, wow, there's chemistry here. No, it's a comedy club.
If you're laughing at the same thing and you make eye contact, like if you go, if you're da 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 da, and then you both
Yeah.
look at each other and go, ha, like you're both in on it.
That's romance.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a little bit. You're both like, we find the same thing quite funny. Ha ha.
Yeah.
Man, a stranger, I've never in my life asked out a stranger without I'm just so scared of the rejection of
You'd
it.
have
Yeah.
to also be. I've never asked out a stranger either that I like that I can even think of. But I'll feel comfortable being. But I wouldn't do it to. I would only do it to like a a guy for sure.
Yeah.
Because I thought that they would not think that I was hitting on them. Never, I wouldn't even have thought that.
Oh God, I
But if I was on stage and I thought someone was being handsy and I wasn't sure about it, ooh, that's tough.
It's tough.
That's tough.
Because in my mind, I was just like, if I'm wrong, I'm just like, I don't know. And
Right.
listen,
Yeah.
if he had grabbed her tit,
Sure.
or anything, or if she gave any
She went-
indication, but when she said I bought him a drink, I really felt thrown for a loop.
Yeah.
Because that felt
Right.
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you go, are you going to get
Unless
him another
you're
one?
roofing him to like get him out of the
Right.
way. But I just kept trying to keep it funny, and then I was like, I don't know if I'm joking or whether I'm
Yeah.
like kind of, or whether I'm discouraging him maybe to be like, I see you, buddy.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, you're
We all
calling
see
attention
it.
to
He's
it.
trying.
Yeah.
Was he cute?
He was.
Were they like the same level of, yeah.
Okay.
I guess I'd be like, she bought him a drink. I would maybe be like, are you going to get him another one? Or do you see us going anywhere? And if that point, because maybe she thought there was something, she gets him the drink. Then she's like, I don't like him. And then
Sure.
she's no longer interested. The second she said she had school early in the morning, I'd be like, I mean,
That-
she probably doesn't even go to school. She's just trying to get him going.
Sure.
Then I would probably, then if he kept, I don't know, that's tough. Because also the audience can't see what you're seeing. So they might be like,
Yeah.
why is he so focused on this?
But that's why when the woman in the back said she shook her head, she's not into him. Like she saw something.
Yeah.
Like, and she wasn't like this.
Right.
But she's like,
Yeah.
I saw something. And then I'm like, I just don't.
Have you ever done crowd work where you found people having an affair? Like, I feel like
Yes.
that's something.
You have?
I have where it one time really distinctly where I was like, how do you guys know each other? And they were really all over each other. And they said they were met in New York for the weekend. And I've said before when people have said that, I'm like, oh, like, do your significant others know that you're here? And people are usually like, haha. But they both were like, and I was like, woo!
Oh.
And then I said, well, you guys aren't on camera, so they won't see anything. And then they said, yeah, we're meeting up. And then the guy was like, I'm going through a divorce. And she was like, I'm working on it or something. But it was very,
Working on it.
it
My
was very much a rendezvous.
right now, my openers, they'll get that audience angle, and they're like breaking news journalists. If
Sure.
it feels like good, and sometimes they get a little too close, and I'm like, guys, you're gonna spook them.
Right.
You're gonna they'll come right here, and I'm
Yeah.
like, no, guys, no.
They'll run around while you're on stage doing it.
Yeah, they're in the
Oh,
back,
that's
and like
great.
it's great. And then sometimes they get caught, and I go,
Sure.
guys, you scared him
Yeah.
away. You
Right.
scared him away.
They shut down because they'll start saying something juicy and then a camera pops up. Yeah, you've
So
got to.
now we have a camera on stage. I mean, every fucking show's a goddamn film shoot.
Production.
I'm fucking dying.
But you know what
dude.
happens then when you don't do it? Because I took a break from recording shows for a little bit. I was like, I got so much footage to go through. Once
Yeah.
you don't do it, it might not be that show, it might not be the next one, but then something's going to happen where you're like, it could never be recreated.
Of course.
There's no way. The other night there was like a warden of a she was a warden of a medium security prison, but she also worked with teenage girls, and she was like, the teenage girls are way crazier than the people, and she was just like spilling all the tea about the prison, and I wanted to be like, shut up. I don't have a camera. Like, this is killing me. I don't want to know any of this crazy
You
stuff.
gotta come.
I'm dying. This is gonna make me feel worse that I didn't take the extra 20 minutes to set up a camera.
I had one recently. I talked about it on the Busy Phillips episode. Someone brought out a cake and they sang "Happy Birthday" in the middle of my set.
To you?
No.
Oh.
In the show. I wish, dear Christ
That's
Almighty,
crazy.
that would have been okay.
That's crazy.
I didn't have the audio.
Yeah.
I think the biggest regret I have one. It was at LOL Comedy Club.
Oh yes.
And I talked about being on Law & Order SVU. And I had prepared this line in my head because it had happened before. But it was a family show. And I said I was on Law & Order SVU. And this little kid said, what episode? And I said the episode where I murder a little kid for interrupting my joke. And I was like, God damn it.
yeah, perfect.
kill.
Perfect.
I would kill. This is
Perfect.
the downside.
1, 2, 3. Downside. You're listening to The Downside
The downside.
with Gianmarco Soresi.
Welcome to the downside. Russell, I love how you weren't ready to come in and save my ass at all.
No, not at all.
Not at all. Welcome to the downside. This is coming out October 22nd. Listen, we're a little bit ahead, guys. And here's why. We need more Patreon subscribers. The more Patreon subscribers we have, the closer we can get to episode, and then we release it the next day. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It takes a team, a staff, everything, new computers. So join the
computers.
Patreon, patreon.com. And also, I said this before, Spotify. People do, the advertisers, they don't care about video views yet. Someday, maybe. But right now, what they care about is Spotify listens. So even if you watch this, just subscribe. Next time you have Wi-Fi, it'll download. We started when we started this podcast, first episode.
I have no idea.
March 16th, 2021.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. Russell has not had an erection since that date. And he can't afford Blue Chew.
Oh yeah, we need Blue Chew.
So we need. Did you know where I was going with it, or did you just go, "Oh, he's just"?
No, I know
bringing up my personal life.
we've joked about Blue Chew for a long time.
We've joked about Russell
about
needing Blue Chew.
Blue Chew.
His wife has given him to the end of this year. Please subscribe to the Spotify.
Is that the only option we have for sponsors? Is Blue Chew?
It's the one that everyone's doing, man.
Okay.
It's the one that.
Is that Hims or Blue Chew?
Matt
different?
Rife to the camera like, Blue Chew. I'm going to have a long night. And I'm like, kill me. What is this? Just say.
But we like Blue
I wanted
Chew.
a boner.
We want
Blue
to
Chew.
sponsor.
Listen, there's other pills too. Someone reached out
Yeah.
and they say, I wanted to do a funny thing where I was going to start a show. I was going to start a show, Silver Lining.
Yep.
At the beginning, I was going to say, hey, I'm going to test out this product. It's brought to you by this product. And I was going to take it all. And then whoever the comedian on, when they bring me back up, I go, no. I shout from the back because I have like a boner or something.
Right.
I was
yeah,
going to come
yeah.
up with some kind of bit where like I'd take all of it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. But you wouldn't take all of it. It'd be a bit.
it depends how desperate I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're here with Emma Willmann. Phenomenal.
Thank you for having me.
Back.
Emma Willmann
Returning.
back.
Thank you. Yeah.
Early episode. You watch Emma Willmann's clip.
so early.
It's a little bit jumpy. That's because it was using GoPros.
Yeah.
And they weren't meant for 60-minute recordings.
Wow.
We had to reset them every 15 minutes. Nightmare footage. I mean, just 3 terabytes per minute.
Yeah.
And we're glad to have you much
Thanks
higher
for having
definition.
me back. I remember that, and I remember you saying, we were talking about the location of your apartment, and you were like, someday when I'm hopefully like putting it out in the universe at the Comedy Cellar, I'll be able to walk back to my apartment.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
wasn't past the Comedy
I
Cellar.
remember
No.
thinking that when I was
Jesus
walking
Christ.
over here, because I remember you were like, you're like putting it out into the universe. Isn't that neat when stuff like that
It
happens?
is neat, but today I have a spot at the Comedy Cellar, and all I can think is, why didn't I just take Monday off?
Totally.
God damn it,
Isn't that
motherfucker.
the
I gotta
truth?
walk there, walk back.
Isn't that the
one
truth?
spot.
Right.
Not gonna push myself to do enough new. It's
Yep.
gonna be a waste of my goddamn
Right.
life.
What am I doing with my life?
It's music
Yeah.
night, so I'm
Right.
not gonna be able to talk to people.
What does that mean?
And Mondays they play music in the restaurant.
But not downstairs. Doesn't
Oh,
affect
I
downstairs,
see, I
but it
see, I
is
see.
very loud.
Loud. Yeah.
It is very loud.
You'd love it. You love music.
It's fun if you like
Music.
that type of thing.
Yeah.
I also feel like I need to pretend. I appreciate it. I feel like I'm a alien from another planet pretending to be like a normal person. Be like, oh yeah, this is fun, and then I get out of there.
Yeah.
That's the only time you feel like an alien.
I feel like that other times, but in social situations like that, where I'm like, oh, and everyone's like, oh, this is great, this is great. I'm like, oh, it's great, and then I get out of it.
yeah.
Now, Emma, I did your podcast, which I was told is no longer.
Ask Men Anything. So we didn't end up renewing the contract on it. We're gonna switch the theme. Or we're gonna switch like the topic and then start recording
It was
again
called
later.
Ask Men Anything. What
that's
if I
it's
get
called.
this guy from the show? I get the guy who's with his arm around the woman.
Oh
and you
yeah.
can ask him like, what was the
What were you
was the
thinking
plan here?
exactly?
Thinking, sir.
What was the plan here? That every woman is just they're this close to sleeping with you. You just have to show them that physical contact is on the table.
His plan was probably that he thought that there was like a slight chance and she wasn't moving away. But his plan was bad because you never want to be touching someone more than they're touching you.
Yeah.
I'd say the plan's bad even further.
Also, she
You
can't
have-
move away. She's
you-
at a theater.
You're right,
if
she
she's at
can't move
a
away. This is
show.
true.
You
Yeah.
guys, if there's like, if I go back and I go like on the list of things you have to teach guys to like be self-aware of,
Sure.
it's like you need to understand when someone is in a location and they don't have the option to move.
Yes.
They are
Yeah.
trapped.
They're trapped.
Yes.
They are trapped. We all get in social circumstances where we're trapped, and sometimes sex, but sometimes other things. Conversation too.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about Uber. It's like I'm
I was
trapped
just
here.
gonna say,
Yeah.
that's a big thing because like I feel like a big thing with small talk is like I'm all for it, making some friendly banter, but if someone is sending you the social cue that they're not into it, shut it down quick. Like if I'm like giving 1 or 2 word answers, especially in an Uber, is the only time I can really think of where then you're really trapped or you're sitting next to someone on a flight. Then you gotta follow. I cannot believe when someone pushes to keep it going when you're like, and I'll be like, yeah, I hear you, and then you put the
the
second these are
earbuds.
in, shut it down.
That's my only downside thing about AirPods is like I need something big. I
Big.
want headphones that are a whole bicycle helmet. Just to be clear, like I'm
Yeah.
doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just don't get it twisted. I can't take these out. They are in for a mandatory of an hour.
Oh man. So
But yes, now look at that. Think about that.
you're gonna
Whatever years ago it was, you were thinking about doing the copy seller, and now.
Now I am, and just as miserable.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth? Isn't this how it is?
Oh, that's just how it is.
But the
How-
podcast was very fun to ask him anything was very fun to do. It was a really interesting social experiment in talking to men about gender. And I feel like a year was a sufficient amount of time to do that.
Russell would have been a good guest.
You would have been a great guest, Russell.
Would have been a good guest.
He's a great friend. He recommended you right away.
Oh, that's so sweet of you.
I did.
Yeah.
But I will say I had to make up for it because Ashley Gavin, who thought Russell was gay,
Yeah.
but was like, I was going to do her podcast. We're having gay sex.
Yep.
And she was like, oh my God, I just saw Titanic. I'll have you and Russell on together. And
He spiraled.
I had a
like-
moment where I said, oh, I wanted to do an episode
That's totally fair. I'm surprised you told him that.
that I what?
No, because she asked me. She DM'd me, and I was like, "This would be so fun. We're gonna do this together."
Right.
And then he was like,
But I did it. So I did it. I said, I feel really bad. He
Right.
told me that I reacted weird. And then I called and immediately I said, I feel so bad. We can do it together. Of course. I've just been waiting to do this 3 years.
I didn't know that whole backstory
right.
of it.
It would be like the reverse.
I mean,
would
we
be
did
like,
it separately.
It would
It's
be
all-
like
it's all fine.
if we're talking like a show you want to be on. If Rogan asked you on the Joe
Yeah.
Rogan
Right.
Experience,
Your favorite
and then
thing
suddenly
ever.
he asked me and said, "You
Right.
want to join
Fuck
Russell?"
him,
It'd be
no.
like, "What the fuck?"
I need 4 hours to myself.
You kill Tony featuring Russell
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Gianmarco.
yeah.
And you have a thing where you go, I don't want to always be packaged with someone, not that you are at all, but then did that go through your mind where you're like, I got to be an individual?
It was just I was so excited to do the
Yes.
show, and I waited so long, and then I got it. And again, it's not a big deal.
Sure.
That's the thing where I just talk to myself.
Right.
Where that's the anxiety where it's like, this is a big deal. It's not a big deal.
Right.
But it like in that moment it's like, no, it all just was coming together.
Oh,
Right.
He'll ruin
Russell's
it.
ruining it.
He'll ruin it.
Him and
the
his
guy
lack of
I've chosen to have a
erections.
podcast
Yeah.
with will ruin it.
And Ashley thought you were gay too?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in Titanic and I present in a way, and but yeah, you know. I mean, definitely. You're coming to see Titanic. It's super gay. I was playing a woman. You know what I
Oh, good
mean?
for you.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm not familiar with
we-
Titanic.
I'm not in it anymore, but
Yeah, it's a gay Titanic parody musical with a lot of Celine Dion songs, and she's
Yeah.
like the narrator of it. It's very fun.
yeah.
That is very gay.
But we were
Very gay.
Can we talk about the
Okay.
Will Ferrell thing?
Did you meet him?
So no. Oh, you did meet him though.
I did meet him
and he
once.
looked good.
Yeah.
oh, great.
You know,
Isn't that nice?
it is nice, but it's also very funny when like Will Ferrell has had money for a long time,
Sure.
and he's fine looking,
Right.
But like I saw this picture of him, and you know he's 60 something, and it's the same way like Seinfeld did a photo shoot recently. You were like, damn, y'all, like you got some hair done, and you like
Right.
you hired a person. They said, hey, we can make you good looking
Yes.
in a way that you never got to be in your life,
Right.
And they're like, yeah, we don't need to be funny anymore. Let's be hot.
Have you ever seen Brad Garrett in person?
No.
No, he's very tall though. Right now,
He's gorgeous in person.
really.
Nothing like the character on Everybody Loves Raymond was kind of dopey. His actual energy is nothing like that. Like the man is, and he's like well kept. Like you can just tell he put his money right away into. There was something about him like that. He is taking care of himself.
You can feel the money. I saw Nate
feel
Bargatze
it.
at the Cellar, and I'm like, it's chill. Like it's not like gaudy,
Right.
But his like his beard is perfectly
Yes.
shaved, and his shoes are brand new,
Right.
and all that stuff. And he's making some money.
He is making some money. Did you ever see him when he wasn't making some money?
No,
It felt different, and he looked different. But then he's gotten so good looking with age, and access
money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It makes a
yeah.
big difference. Less stress.
Money.
you
I
have,
would imagine.
you have veneers.
I do have veneers. Yeah. I wonder if I had them when I was on before. These are
I
veneers.
remember a story about you had a tooth thing.
Oh,
when
I
you
had
came
a
on
tooth
before.
thing.
What
Yeah.
happened?
One of my front teeth broke. So I had veneers, like these are all veneers, and then one of them broke when I was doing a boxing class, and then it came out, and then I tried to get a dental implant, and my mouth didn't take the dental implant, so I couldn't get another surgery for a while, and then I kept losing the temporary tooth. So that
What do
was
you mean you kept you
I
put
kept
it down?
losing it. I would take it out when I would eat, and it was like, don't eat unless you're at your apartment. You can do your tooth, but then I wouldn't do that, and I just kept losing it, and I kept.
Would you go back to restaurants and say, "Did you see a tooth?"
I would take it out, put it in my pocket, and then I would lose it. This happened multiple
Oh
times.
man.
Yeah. How much
Crazy.
is a tooth?
It's like $400.
Oh, it's
So
like it's like a single AirPod with no
Oh,
case.
God.
So after I
guess
lost
the
a
case is
couple
your
of them, I was like, that's it. No more teeth. You can't. That's it. So I like punished myself by not letting myself get a new tooth because I kept losing them. And then I was like, all right, now you can get another one because I had to wait. I think it was like 8 months before I could get the surgery. I kept losing the tooth. Multiple teeth did I lose. My
So-
teeth are just floating around.
I've been thinking about telling Russell to get veneers. So
me see your
talk to
teeth.
me about.
Okay, so what they do is they whittle your
That's the part that's.
They
you know,
whittle
do you know
it
this?
down.
Yeah.
They whittle your and here's the thing. So if the veneer falls off, it's not just like an open tooth hole space. You've got this like snaggle tooth, little pencily
But
thin
weren't
little
you
fang.
scared of that part? Like that's the scary part of veneers. They
Yeah.
basically first have to destroy
Destroy
your
your
teeth.
tooth.
Yeah.
When I first got them done, I was just like, my teeth weren't even that bad. I just had like a tiny little space, ironically, in the place where my tooth was then missing. So I had
Yeah.
this space, like big space for a long time. But the first time I got it done, I wasn't even thinking. When I went back around, I was like, they're like, oh, they already whittled them down too much. They can't do that. And I was like, oh, it's once those teeth are whittled down, the real tooth is gone.
Did they knock you out
Yeah.
to whittle your teeth down that much?
They don't knock you out, but you can't feel it at all. But it's still you can feel like a grinding
Oh
a
my
little bit. I
God.
know.
How long does
I
it
know.
take?
God.
How long does it take?
When I had to get them redone, I was in there for like a couple hours, but I had to get them all redone.
I think the thing is,
And now
yours
I'm happy
yours
with
look
them.
great.
These look great. The ones I had before this were a little.
Yours look great. The
These
thing
were
is,
very expensive.
When
The
you
other ones
watch
were not.
on TV film, though, it's so jarring.
They look like the mask.
Yes.
Yeah, it like sometimes you'll see someone, you're like, oh my god,
Yep.
and it
white.
completely takes you out of too white, yeah,
Too
Too
white.
white, too big.
too
Yes.
big, too white, yeah. It's like
No
such a fine
nuance.
balance. Of,
Did you see a picture of what your teeth look like with no veneers, like all of them?
I have. I can show it to you.
Can I see it? Does it look like a
it's-
shark?
It looks like it's gross. Like, and it's also like this tooth has not gotten brushed at that point in like years and years and years. So it's like really.
Oh my god! How does it not rot?
It's disgusting. But also, I didn't know that's what it looked like until it popped out. And then I was like, what the fuck? But I was just not taking care of myself. Like, I didn't care. I was like, I don't care. I gotta keep it moving. Like, I would go on stage with my teeth either fucked up or when I got the surgery, one of the times my mouth got all swollen, I still went on stage. I shouldn't have done that. That's not good for me
Sure.
or the audience.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Did you feel like the laughs were bigger though? Did they go, look at this fucking mess up there?
Well, I started leaning into it a little bit when I was just missing the tooth, but when my face was swollen, that was too much because people were kind of like, I think they were like, you know?
Sure. Well, I thought it was so weird where like Madonna, I don't know whether there's the Grammys, but it looked bad.
I haven't seen it, but I've
pretend.
heard.
We don't have to pretend. It
This
looked
was
really
when
bad.
it was swollen. I mean, it was fucking swollen.
Oh
I
my
know.
God.
And you went on stage?
And I went on stage, and then I was, I don't know,
I know
what.
you're thinking. You should see the other guy.
Right?
Did you have an opening line for it?
I had an opening line about the tooth that was just like stupid, but
What
nothing
was it?
with
Tell
this.
me. What was it?
I joked about this is really bad. It's embarrassing. I joked, and this was before. I've seen so many people do this joke since then. But I had no tooth, so I said, "Oh, guys, I just got the vaccine," and then my tooth popped out. And then I would do something on the vaccine. It's stupid. I cringe when but that
No.
was like the very first
Listen,
thing.
We all
Listen,
have vaccine
the vaccine
things.
jokes.
It's
yeah.
now I'm.
They really killed for a while.
I forgot
did.
that I even did that, and then I was listening to a set from a long time ago, and I was like, "Ooh!" But that's how I would do.
I only do one COVID thing anymore. I go, I don't talk about COVID anymore. I'm sick. I'm so tired of washing my hands every time I shit.
yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
touch it. And that's the tag I got this year. I didn't touch it.
Didn't touch that poop.
Um,
I've got to have a picture
so
of me with a
Madonna,
little smack.
no, but the thing is, so then
Oh,
later
yes,
you
I
saw
remember
Madonna
that.
and she looked like, it looked fine. And it was like, oh, it was still swollen.
Yeah,
Right.
sometimes
And I was
you
just
gotta
like,
go
well,
to something.
I know, but like, you don't have to perform.
Yeah,
I mean, you can, but like everyone pointed it out. And to be fair, I understand looks. If someone comes there and it's very clear that they just had the most intense plastic surgery of their life and their face looks 3 times as big,
Yeah.
what do you expect? What do you expect the world? What do you expect?
Also,
You were gonna
you
say
can
something.
time it out so that doesn't happen.
But maybe they did, and then she said, "Oh, one more change," and then it was still swollen, and she's older, and it
Right.
takes more time. Who the fuck knows?
yeah.
My girlfriend got annoyed at me because she had gotten her. I'm looking for the tooth thing. She had gotten her lips done. And then she came out with me. So she got them done. And then the next night she came out with me and they really swelled up. And I was doing this show somewhere outside LA, Huntington Beach, doesn't matter. But the guy running the show, and he's like, "Bye, Emma." And then I said, "Oh, this is my girlfriend." And you see my girlfriend, her lips like she looks like she's gotten punched in the face. So I just my girlfriend. I go, "She just had her lips done. That's why she's all, you know." And he goes, "Oh, okay." And then we left. She goes, "Why would you tell him that?" I was like, "Because it looks like you got punched in the face." And I didn't want it to. And she was like, "Yeah, but he doesn't need to know that I just got my lips done." And also, he doesn't care, and you could have still punched me in the face. I was like, but it was like her lips were they looked crazy.
Yeah. It depends.
Like it looked like she got plowed in the face.
I was surprised. I took a picture of my sisters, and one of them had just gotten either Botox or chin, not a full surgery, but an injection.
Sure.
And they were so not self-conscious that I would like put it online, or that it was very clear that they just.
Good for them.
But I think it was more like an LA thing.
Right.
I think it's like, well, in LA, it's like, yeah, I just had my chin done. We all had our chins done.
Right.
We can't be like.
It's part of the process of life.
How often do you have to do lips? Like if you start doing them.
Was it Botox or was it a surgery?
She got fillers. So fillers in your lips, I feel it's like every 6 months. But I get fillers right here. And then now I'll do that like every 5 to 6 months. And then I get Botox all over. You guys don't do Botox at all? Oh,
No.
yeah.
The
second my forehead even moves, I go, whoop.
Why? You want to be expressive.
Yeah, I want to be able to go like this.
Expressive. I
Yeah,
can
but
still-
this is, I'm going in. This is a little too much for me.
Oh.
But I go, I had to have a real, like, I don't know why I got self-conscious with saying come to Jesus moment. I had a come to Jesus moment with.
Or whatever you believe in.
Leviticus talked about the Botox.
I had a come to
And
Jesus
then he
moment.
turned water into Botox.
Because I was going to my Botox guy like every 3 months, like clockwork, but I wasn't getting like I went like 2 years without getting like the type of checkup I actually needed to do. So, because I was like, I don't have time to go to the doctor. I don't have time to go to the doctor. But the second I feel it move, I call it in.
Well, I guess I never, of all the things that I have problems with my looks.
But you don't have lines. First of all,
But if I had lines, it'd be okay.
it's
expensive.
more than okay. I'm pro line if it works for you. But I had line when I started getting Botox because I was having problems with acne, and so I was like, I want something that I can control. I can't clear up my skin with the acne, but I was like, I can at least make that. But I had deep lines. I'll show you. I had deep lines in my forehead that were there even if I wasn't making an expression. So your forehead,
Sure.
it looks healthy. Mine was
Talk about Russell's forehead.
I've always had
his
this
looks
one line.
healthy too.
Like since you were like a babe?
Young, yeah.
Because I had really bad acne too, so I was like, "What can I do?"
I feel really, when it comes to like beauty stuff, like I don't do any skincare.
Moisturize.
I don't do any.
You don't
skin-
moisturize?
I don't do it regularly
anything.
enough. Like I'll do it and then you fall. Like I'll do it for a while and then I stop. Do you know what I mean?
So what do you guys do before? Because I used to not have.
I splashed some water in my face.
This was my acne at the worst. But so this picture was taken October 11th, 2017. But you can see the lines. Like look how bad my skin looks.
All right, guys, this is one where you probably don't
you
want
can
to
show
watch
it too,
the
I don't
video,
care at all.
guys.
But see, so those lines are pretty like ingrained. So I'm obviously a lot older now than I was in that. But like,
Thanks. To quote Mitch Hedberg,
There,
every
look at my
photo
forehead.
is a picture of you in the past.
right? See.
Yeah. Sure.
But here's the thing.
Sure.
Whatever works for you. This is just
Whatever,
how I
yeah.
prefer it. I mean, it looks more intense because I'm literally holding a baby with no wrinkles, which I do think about when I look at babies now, which is kind of fucked up.
You're like,
You look at their-
I
look
go,
at that
"No,
skin."
so smooth.
Oh, so smooth.
I think how much money it would be if I were to make my skin look like that. Like a baby's face. Priceless for so many reasons.
If you went to a doctor and he said, "Hey, I can give you some new forehead skin. I can't tell you where I got it from," are you saying yes?
and it stays that way forever.
I'd be curious. I would say no, but I go, well, I mean, I'd be
What
curious.
if he said, "Here's this new thing. It's definitely from a baby we killed, but the baby's already dead." And so
Sure. So the baby's already dead, and it's like an organ donor, but
Yeah.
just for forehead skin.
And the baby, they killed the baby?
they killed it for you.
Oh,
But
no.
That's
Then
too
I-
harsh.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
but-
yeah. No.
but it's already happened.
No.
Well, that's like
No.
you use all the paper. The tree's already dead.
Yeah, I
no,
couldn't-
okay.
I'd
okay,
feel
so
bad
the
about
baby,
that.
The baby died of
Right.
natural
Natural
causes.
Yeah.
And the parent, I mean, you'd pay good money to have just forehead and it was just baby skin. The parent says, "Hey, I need some money." In fact, the parent has another kid, and that kid's doing great, but they
And
need
their
some
forehead
money.
looks fucking awesome.
But they need some money for their kid to go to school, and so they decided, well, the dead
Well,
baby.
you're turning it into a great thing. There's no like
Right
no
now, I'm a
choice.
hero
Yeah.
for taking it.
Yeah.
But I'd be an asshole if I didn't take it. But I would almost be like, I don't know what stem cells are, but I was like Googling around about that. Do you guys know about those?
Well, you didn't get very far in
I
your
mean, there's
Googling.
like-
I didn't
You
get
don't
very
even know
Google.
what
There's
it
a
is.
debate
I know it's very, but I like if you said the new forehead on my skin, I know enough where I go, I don't even know how that would work. But if you were like, I don't know.
But it's more about that. So okay, stem cell. I mean,
Right.
I believe I'm pretty sure we're talking before. I know this for sure. We're not talking about a baby after birth.
right.
No,
We're talking about fetus or nothing.
We're talking about
nothing.
I want to
tubes.
do a deep dive on it because it's not something that you see pop up too much. But I'm interested in like longevity and
I'm talking
Botox
I'm
stuff.
talking a 3-month-old baby that fell down some stairs.
Oh,
Oh God.
And you have to tell people at parties when they go, "Wow, that looks great."
right.
Oh, thank you. It's a baby. It's a new baby.
Damn. I don't think I'd be able to do it. And
What if you put the name of the baby like on a
Oh
part?
my
little
God.
forehead to keep it
That's the part. That's the part that bothers you.
Yeah.
You said kill the baby for the procedure. I said just is dead.
He just wants to honor it.
Yeah.
I think I would also think like energetically, like the baby's like energy. I would feel weird about that.
Totally.
But I mean,
I mean,
just that
it's
I'm
right
even.
next to the brain. Your brain's
Yeah.
gonna be like, "Mama," and you're like, "Oh my God."
Oh,
Yeah.
that poor little baby. I would feel bad. I wouldn't be able to do that. But anything that has to do like to my body in terms of like playing around, like I would say I'm pretty progressive. I'm pretty the opposite of risk averse. Like I'm very open to like trying stuff. So I'll do like vitamin injections. I'll do that. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of like NAD or glutathione. Like I'll do at-home injections of that.
But why am I going to be in the leading edge of that stuff? I'll wait till I see how it affects.
Totally.
But I was listening to today.
What?
I was listening to a podcast about testosterone
Yes.
is really for cis guys,
Mm-hmm.
and it was talking about. This guy, late 30s, very fit, healthy. It just started to feel a little sluggish, and he's like, "I want to be optimal." And
Yep.
and he's able to get it. There's all these commercials, and basically, it was good for a week, and then he started being moody, and he said, "I had sex, I couldn't feel anything." And then when they take you off the testosterone, your body has stopped producing testosterone
go
altogether,
crazy.
so you crash. And I never want to be the front of this.
That would never happen if in a week and he already had some other type of problem then. Because if your body would stop producing the testosterone that it needed to produce just from like a couple weeks of supplementing it, you were already something weird else is going on.
Definitely.
And he didn't see the right type of person to like gradually, because if your body just stops producing testosterone from that should not like we produce human growth hormone, right? And then if you take human growth hormone, then that can make it so you don't produce it. But you can take things that make it so you produce more of your own human growth hormone, but you have to cycle it.
I
And
have to do one quick ad break. Testosterone.
Yeah,
it's
Yeah.
healthy. It's good. You need it probably.
that
Testosterone.
guy, he was a bad sample size. Because if all of a sudden he stopped, maybe he would have had to have taken so much to do. Like, my girlfriend says I should not even talk about health stuff because she's like, it's all bro science that you're reading. But I've read a few books. I read one.
To be fair, you said
I don't even remember the name of it.
you Googled stem cell.
Peter Attia. Whatever. I've read a book.
That's the name of the author.
Yeah.
That doesn't. What was the book about?
Longevity.
Testosterone? Oh.
He talks about that a little
Longevity.
bit. It's about like the aging of, because I got interested in this stuff because I was interested in I kept getting cold. So I'm like, why do I keep getting cold? So I started reading about like immune function and the immune system. And then I started reading about mitochondria and your cells. And then that gets into anti-aging stuff pretty quick because like cell aging is what they attribute to making blah, blah, blah. People glaze over when we start talking about
Are you science brain though?
No.
of course not. So me neither.
Right.
And so I go.
and I get confused quickly and easily.
Yeah.
I remember when my dad had the heart surgery, and,
Right.
and they're telling me like what they're gonna do. They're gonna take
See,
even just now,
I
they're gonna take an artery from his leg and put it in his heart. And I'm trying to listen to this doctor
didn't even know
tell
you had
me
an artery in your leg.
who knows. And he's telling me about my dad and whether he will die. My father
Right.
will die.
The stakes
will he
are
die?
high.
The stakes could not be higher.
Right.
And I'm saying to myself, I say, listen. And then 2 seconds later, I go, and I'm completely lost. I don't
Totally.
know what you're talking
well,
about.
you don't have to do the surgery.
Sure,
Right.
but it's just like, but that's why I'm not doing anything outside the realm of
Oh, I see. Yeah.
consensus.
Yes.
And will that maybe, if the government ever wants to sneak in some poison, sure. But
So be it.
I think sooner that than me making my own decisions based off fucking whatever the fuck.
But what
book.
about with things like vitamins? Because vitamins there can be like a toxic. I mean, but I'll get into it with like biohacking. Like I'll do red light therapy. I don't even know what that does, but I know it makes my skin
See,
better.
but I know, but it's probably all psychosomatic.
I think it really works. I think it produces more collagen in my skin. I really think the red light therapy works.
What's
And
collagen?
See, damn it! You sack of shit.
We went one level deeper.
but
You're skin deep.
But I look better.
What happens? What is red light? Like what happens?
So what are you?
Oh, how? No. Why would you inquire further after we don't know what collagen is?
So
I'm just
what it
curious.
does is you want to have it. People say that it can help with like muscle relaxing, and it like makes the light.
What
like,
people say this like.
people will say, I don't know who these people are either.
Many
many a
scientists.
people. I started going to like biohacking places when I'd be on the road. I go, I'm tired. What can I do? And they go, oh, do this. Try cryo. Then once you're in with the cryotherapy, which is they like freeze you, and that helps with circulation. I
I've
go,
done
what
the
else you got?
cryotherapy.
What'd you think of that?
They charge you like $6,000 so you can stand in a
They didn't
fridge
charge
for
you
30
$6,000.
seconds.
It is expensive, but if you go on the road, then it's like much less expensive.
They charge you, let's say you go to LA, they charge you, let's say $80 so you can spend 40 seconds in the coldest tube of your life.
Did you feel anything afterwards?
Cold.
Yeah.
It makes your
uncomfortable.
circulation like because you're so cold, and when you get out, then all of a sudden your blood's like pumping and pumping and pumping.
And why is that good?
It's good because you sack of shit. It's good because wait, I really should know this because I do listen to it's good because then it's like if you're stagnant in the circulation, then it's like helping your body. Then it's like regenerating. There you go, buzzword, regenerating.
What's regenerating?
The circulation is regenerating, which is important. I mean,
Why?
I can't look at you because I know I'm talking out of my ass, but. It's regenerating. The mitochondria is regenerating the other mitochondria
Careful,
around
Emma,
the
the more words
nucleus.
you introduce.
The nucleus is key
The
with what
nucleus
it's
is
doing.
key.
I felt better after I did the cryotherapy, and I was doing it for a while, but when I was working out a bunch, I stopped because I do know this. It is so good with inflammation that if you do it like right after you've worked out, it then will like affect you building more muscle. That's all I know. That's what a trainer I worked with said.
Sure. Listen, I got the nutritionist. I did the things. We're doing the same stuff.
Yeah, it's tough.
I just moved. I do 16/8 now.
I know he said he was doing the fasting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. The moment you talk about it, it sounds like you're like, oh, I just got an eating disorder.
Oh, right,
It's
right.
been working
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. I could not hack that, so I'm good for you for doing
all
that.
I will say is this: is that the only reason it worked for me is I always was just like health conscious. I just
Right.
never had dessert. I never
Right.
had anything fun for a very, very long time in my life. And now because of this, maybe just mental, whatever, I have had the best meals of my life.
Oh, great.
I've
Great.
like I have dessert now. I'll have the 3 drinks.
Right.
And I still have that little neuroses in me, but something about the fasting of it all, I go, oh, it's totally fine.
And it's
Do
supposed to
you-
give you
resetting.
energy and all
Do you
that
feel
stuff.
like okay? So like I was with you last
I
night.
take the electrolytes is what changed
Great.
it for me.
Great.
Because I thought I couldn't work out in the morning without
Right.
food. And the electrolytes, I feel fine. I have the LMNT salt or
That
whatever.
stuff is great.
That changed the game for me. What were you saying?
Well, I was saying because is 12 to 8 basically where you're living and eating and stuff.
Yeah, usually 11 to 7. Yeah,
Okay,
something like that. Yeah.
So, but like, oh, okay, 11 to 7.
It shifts.
So,
I mean, it could shift. I was worried about shows. I
Right.
thought like I was nervous when I was hitting my 2 show days where I was like, am I going to be starving? And I wasn't.
That's
I wasn't.
great.
And so much of eating, I was a grazer.
Yes,
and
I'm a
so much,
grazer.
I mean, like I would eat just constantly. I mean, even
Right.
the carrots. It's just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'd eat a whole bag of baby carrots every single day.
yeah.
And it started because I was in Australia. And the promoter was taking me out to these insane meals. And I saw in my head, I didn't want to come back from Australia and feel like, fuck, you got to get back in the
Sluggish,
shape.
yeah.
And so I just said, okay, I just did it. And I'm sure you seem, we both seem
Did
to be.
you do it so you could tell the guy you couldn't eat with him?
No, so I could fucking like have the best meal of
I
my
see,
life
I see,
and
I
feel
see.
okay.
Right.
And I just did it and I've been doing it since.
I could not. I tried it. I could not hack it. It did not work for me because if I get hungry, and I know it passes, but if I get hungry, then something will snap and I'll like eat a bunch of shit. But if my dad
I don't
does
have
it,
that snap thing,
that's
but I
great.
get it. I get it.
and I get how that could work. My dad does that and he swears by it. And are you still taking Adderall?
So I take it very, very infrequently.
Okay.
Partly because every morning I get up and I go, oh, I want my coffee.
Yes.
And they told me don't take Adderall.
Why? What happens?
It's just like it's already as a stimulant.
Oh.
So
It's a lot
heart-
on your little
heart
system.
attack, yeah.
Right, exactly.
And so I do it infrequently. Sometimes I want to do it more, and then it just doesn't fit. And I go, that's fine. I'll take it when I just like need to do my work day. Though the person who gave it to me, who prescribed it to me,
Right.
I talk about it on stage, but literally is what happened is like I said, you have to see them to get the prescription.
Right.
And I said, like, I'm whispering like
like he's here.
no one will hear. No, we're recording this. And I said like, oh, I smoke pot. I just asking all my questions.
Sure.
How long after taking Adderall? Like, do you think it's fine for me to smoke pot? And this doctor said, we're on Zoom. Let me Google it real quick. And
Let
I
me
was like,
Google it. That's not what you want to hear.
I was like, dude, this whole prescription game.
Yeah, was it a tele? Did you Google like how to get Adderall online?
No, it was a referral from another person who should have known better.
Yes.
Or just I'm like, that's what this particular kind of doctor is. And I was just like, this is such a goddamn motherfucking scam.
Telehealth gets real wonky.
And I'm getting the discount rate. And it's like, we're talking like $400
Oof.
for a person who goes, let me Google it.
Right.
And
Scary.
like $400. And so it's just like such a like, okay, fine. I guess, sure. I guess this is the only goddamn way.
I wonder what his rate of saying no is. I wonder if he ever says no to people.
There's no chance.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I mean, listen, I think I present not like,
right.
I need this now.
Right.
Can I have 1,000 pills?
How can I get my pills quick?
But I have to go back to my fucking doctor to get my Ambien prescribed, and I have to see him every 3 months. And I'm like, I have to make this appointment. He's not free for another 4 months.
Yep.
I'm gonna run out of Ambien, and I'm losing my goddamn mind. I'm like, you need me to come there in person or set up an appointment, and you're not even free. And for me to do this, I still got sleep problems. I haven't taken the Ambien in an unreasonable. I'm not getting a refill super early.
Yeah.
I bet you can get that Ambien. I bet you can get a telehealth person to give you some more Ambien.
Sure, but it's just like it's one of those
a
things
racket.
where the thing I'm trying on stage, I'm just like, I want to say to the doctor, I'm gonna get the Ambien,
right.
whether it's from my mom's collection or someone on the street. I'd love to do it the right channels. Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
You think you're helping with like. With preventing because New York, I guess, is really strict about it.
Sure, and I think they're strict about the Vyvanse and Adderall too. Because I used to have to see my person every 3 months for the Vyvanse, which is like a version of Adderall.
It's fucking nuts, dude.
And it's so expensive.
I go to get my heart medication, and it's cholesterol lowering, and I can only get 30 pills at a time. If I'm going out of town,
Why
go,
can't
hey,
you get 90?
Could I get some more? Well, they say, well, your insurance doesn't cover the 90, so you have to talk to your insurance. Well, we can do a coupon, and it's only this amount of money, and it's just
oh my god.
And God forbid you lose your pills. Have you lost some pills?
Luckily, I'm good with.
I've lost many a pill.
I have my toiletry bag. Tova got me a toiletry bag a long time ago, leather with my name, and it is. I imagine based on what I know of you,
Yes.
your ADHD is worse than mine.
Could be.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
It definitely is. So, but my system is always just like I generally never lose my wallet because it's always on my
great.
person. The only time I have is if I took it off my person for some goddamn reason. I always have my phone.
See, that's where I fall short. I take things out, put them down.
It's the same thing with your tooth.
Yes.
I all the time I have that thought in my head where I go, don't put that there, Gianmarco. You will forget it. I go, well, just remember it. It's there. And I always go home and I go, fuck, God damn it.
Yeah.
So I will do tricks. So many times, especially when Tova's not home, I'll leave it right in front of the goddamn door. So I have to see it. I have
do
my own
that.
tricks.
I do that too because it has to be out. Otherwise, I'm going to forget that it exists.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'll putting something near the door, but then I can't put too many things near the door. It has to be like key things. But I didn't have any of these tricks when I was losing my tooth. Because I kept losing the tooth, I even got an ADHD consultant. And this was kind of funny. You had to buy a pack of set. You had to buy like a 5-pack. You weren't allowed to just do one because I'm sure so many people with ADD just like did it and then dropped off.
Sure.
But I did one and then I dropped off, but I paid for 5 of them. And I remember the woman, her qualifications were just that she had ADD and it was just like telling you what worked for her. And I was like, I didn't get anything from it. But I want to learn like more tips and tricks about ADD. Working out helps a lot. The more I work out, the less I'm like forgetful with stuff.
When did you start taking medication?
I started taking Adderall when I was young. I think I was in high school and I didn't understand how I had no frame of reference for like what it did to your body because the stuff is like it's strong. Like I remember right when I took it, I remember clearly being like,
I take it and I go like I'm a chatty Cathy. I become like it's what I imagined cocaine would kind of do.
Have you
to
done
me.
coke before?
I did it twice, but like not in a way where I enjoyed it. I didn't feel anything good. I just felt my heart beating a lot and I couldn't get it up.
Totally.
Yeah.
Have you done cocaine?
No, never. Too scary for
Would
me.
you ever, if it was like, hey, this is from the...
No.
this is-
My limit is shrooms. Like that's as far as I can go as a human.
Have you done them?
Yeah.
Shrooms?
What we did just
We did
recently.
it.
Oh, good for you guys.
You do it again?
I would. Yeah.
What about ayahuasca?
You know,
I was just reading about it on Twitter today.
I'm curious, but it kind of scares me too.
Well, someone put on Twitter today, they said, they showed a video of like, and it's a bunch of, this video is a bunch of white people.
Right.
Like in a forest somewhere.
Sure.
Being tended to by people who look like they didn't have the same amount of money. It was just
Yes.
it was such a,
Right.
what do you call it? Just like a role playing, or
Yeah.
just like, ooh, we're gonna go to the woods,
Yeah.
and
Right.
and this person who's foreign, and this thing was saying this
There is a
person-
word for that, and I can't remember it either.
role playing, LARPing. I don't know, but
Something kind of shitty
Yeah,
too.
yeah. But this person on Twitter, they said, "Oh, my friend's wife did this, and then came back and quit her job and left her family and got with a new man,
Oh,
and now she went
shit.
crazy." But that's why I didn't do shrooms once, because someone in college, they got really depressed after, and
Right.
I'm like,
I felt
I
like
don't think it was the shroom.
Exactly the same with the testosterone guy, the guy that didn't
Yeah.
feel anything and all that. Because like I know I have a friend that did it, and he has done shrooms a bunch, and he did ayahuasca, and he was like, it's so potent, and you feel really nauseous. That's what he felt.
That's
He said
what-
everyone
yeah.
around him did, but he was like, it gives you a lot of new things to think about, and you can really see yourself out. He said it helped him get over a breakup. But he said just compared to
Sure.
shrooms, it was in the same vein. So if you did shrooms, you could handle
the
this.
nauseous thing freaks me out.
Yeah, he
though.
said you get really sick.
I hate.
And I don't know
throwing
why
up.
that is.
Really?
But
Yeah,
you're
I
kind of
hate it.
fucked up, so you're not gonna really be all there while you're throwing up.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I just it's just
It would be something bad. My fear with ayahuasca too is like, I think my dream for what a drug would do is it would just make me believe in God. And I'd rather like be like, maybe that drug's still out there, than do them all and be like, well, I
Right.
still
Don't
haven't seen the
believe.
face of God.
Yeah.
I'd rather believe like, well, there's a God, and one day you can take the thing until I die, and I
Yeah.
don't have to
And
confront it.
ayahuasca would be the one that would be the most believable one that then you would like see it.
Yeah.
I think because if you did coke and then you saw God, I don't think. I think the second you came down, you'd be like, it was the coke, you know.
a sad thing, like some
Yeah.
Wall
You're
Street
like,
guy.
"God's
Like,
got
I saw
himself."
God.
Yeah.
Like,
But ayahuasca, then you'd have people co-signing like, oh yeah, you really, you saw him, because that's an experience, or her, whatever. That's an experience people have with ayahuasca. It's supposed to be very spiritual. I would not do it
I'd
myself.
love-
have you done shrooms?
I wouldn't do them. I got too scared because I'd be shroom, anything like that. Now I'm sober, so I really wouldn't.
yeah.
But even when I was like into trying stuff, I wouldn't, because that to me, that's just not, that experience isn't attractive. Like coke, even though I did it once, that's attractive because I would think of it like, yeah, like productivity, like
I
like I
see.
like an upper.
He tried to make it productive when we were doing shrooms. He was like pitching lots of ideas.
I
just-
love that.
I always bring a notepad.
I
I'm a
love
notepad
that.
boy.
I used to do that when I was drinking, and I remember one time I got like wasted this one night, and I ran into this agent. I was in Philly. I was opening for my friend, and we ran into this agent. This is a bad combo. She's not in the business anymore. Did you ever meet her, Hillary Robbie? She used to work at WME. Tova would know who she was. So she used to be like at shows all the time. So she pops up. She was like there for like a school reunion in Philly. I'm opening for my friend. We're talking. I don't really remember this. And then the next day I wake up, I'm all hungover. And she texts me. She was like, love those movie ideas. And I went, oh no. And I was like, what? And then I asked my girlfriend at the time, I was like, what movie ideas? She was like, you don't remember? She's like, I couldn't get you to shut up. She was like, I was trying to get you to go. And you just kept going, one more thing. And I was like, oh no. But that was
Wow.
one of the most harrowing texts I've ever got. Because you don't want to be that person.
There's some probably
but-
Hollywood movies that get made that way. If
Sure.
the person is famous enough.
Sure.
Some
And I don't
every
think
Quentin Tarantino movie.
I don't think she was making fun of me, but I don't remember what these movie ideas were that I said. And like, I was like, that was like a wake up call. It could have been.
That's so
I mean,
funny.
it could have been. There could have been so many things that would have like gotten through to me less.
Yeah.
But love those movie ideas because then you just picture.
Well, what's funny about that is that because you have no idea, they weren't ever a sober like thought in your head.
Absolutely
It
not.
wasn't like something you were carrying
Yeah.
around
Sure.
that you got drunk and you're like, not
Right.
ready to
Oh,
really
the
It probably
talk
was
about
right.
incorporating
But
your
it was like-
environment.
it
You're
was
like,
like
what
a
if there
drunk-
was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what if a refrigerator like ate 2 couches and they became a machine?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, Sylvester Stallone's in it. And I've taken script writing classes, but I've never like from them like that would have been. It just completely didn't track, and there were many ideas.
There was a scene. Remember, there was a scene in Louis where like some agent loves to stand up and like I'd love to hear movie pitches, and he's
Oh,
like, so
yeah.
there's like a guy and he's sad. I've had enough pitch meetings, and it's one of those things where I come with ideas, and like they're like, let's hear these ideas, and then I tell them, and
You
I
see
tell
their
them passionately,
faces.
Right.
and then they go, great. Well, if any more ideas come along the way, and you're like, oh, I've seen the light. One time I was pitching a TV show, and it was like. And I was warned, don't say this, but I said, and maybe the main character, like he is a stand-up comedian. And I saw like as if like their soul just left their
like-
body.
right,
Yeah.
and we're out. Also, it's so many times when you're doing those meetings, it wasn't with people that were like decision makers.
No.
Who knows?
No, it's okay. It's the sense of like you're in this meeting and you're like these people that I'm on this meeting with have this meeting 5 times a day
Right.
with different people.
And they're getting paid to do it.
and then I don't think anything gets made. Like
Right.
when you're in that meeting, you're like, you feel like, I don't think they've had one meeting this year that has resulted in
And
something.
all these
Yeah.
guys, they're all getting fired all the
Right.
time.
Yeah.
I had so
And that
many
brings me a thrill.
post JFL meetings where like I swear there was one like the next day
Yeah,
I read
like,
a
oh, no,
deadline
no,
like
yeah.
I was
He's
like
gone
those
back
are
to
all the
grad
names I
school.
did a Zoom with.
Right.
And they're all
They're
fired
like-
from
They're
Sony.
all dead.
Right.
They're all dead
Oh,
now. They like
I did
Get
a
rid
big
of
Zoom
all
with
of them.
Sony once. I remember it was like, there was like 13 people on the call. And then you're like, who? I'm sure they all got fired.
yeah.
So I guess my dad at some point my dad dated like a supermodel.
Nice.
And she left him for the vice president of Sony or whatever.
Oh.
And I remember he says, son, you'll never know pain until a woman leaves you for a man who has more money than you. And it really
It got through to you.
Wow.
I just remember I was like, no, this is a reflection of like your problems. But it was just interesting to have it phrased that way. My
Right.
dad, he's a good looking guy. I'm sure this Sony vice president was not as good looking as he was.
Probably not.
It's not his money that got the model.
Right, right.
But it was just to see that's how he viewed the world with money. And I think as you get older, you do see.
That's a very common thing too. I'll hear like, especially with like attractive women going to someone, they'll like go right to that. And hey, maybe some of these women actually do like the guys. We don't know. We have no idea what's going on.
It's never one thing.
Right.
They like him enough.
Right.
And
They like him enough.
They said about
Good
RFK.
enough.
Everyone goes with RFK. They go like, how does this old fucking toad who talks like this get a girl? And I'm like, well, also remember. Very wealthy,
Very.
the
Yeah.
Yes.
coolest parties, and you dine with the president and the celebrity,
Right.
and the life is exciting.
Who came out?
And he's gonna die.
And
He's gonna die, and then you can do whatever you want.
with that cash. Unless he doesn't leave it to you, and then, oof. How did
Yeah.
that come out that him and that woman were even like having a thing? Did she expose? She didn't, because she got slammed.
She I think the paper found
Paper-
out, told her
Yeah.
maybe I'm sure someone had the files,
Right.
and told her, and I'm pretty sure
So
she came forward
she
first.
released it, saying it.
But now
yeah.
he's apparently, they say allegedly he's suing her because she was like trying to make it more sexual.
Oh my God! Imagine suing someone for trying to make something more sexual, and then, I mean, that's a tough thing to prove.
Can I say, and this is so like, especially with Kamala, they go, hey, she once fucked this guy who was in a position of power.
Sure.
They say, they use that and they say she wouldn't be anywhere without sex. And I think there's something so much where I'm like, so what?
Right.
So what a woman might or a man, but if a woman used sex as one of the many tools in the long line of life to be a part of something, first of all, it's not that one-sided. It's
Right.
not just I fucked this guy to get this
And
thing.
it could have also made it genuinely sexually attractive that was on the table. Like that could have then created a genuine sexual environment that was fun.
It's just to think that sex does not play a role in life
Sure.
is Pollyanna-ish in a stupid fucking way. Like, and then obviously you see the problems with it. You see Hollywood and there are all
Right.
these things, and you go, well, clearly that's a problem where you're forced to participate, or if you don't want to participate,
Totally
but to act like
different,
sex
right.
Yeah.
isn't one of the dimensions of the world,
Right.
Is to say, it's unfair. The guy's going to the all guys golf course and making the business meetings there.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Right.
Well, so this person can't go to that, but maybe they could have their meeting. They're fucking each other.
Yeah.
I don't. But the idea that like to me it's such a patriarchy thing to be like, well, that nullifies any accomplishment if sex was in the mix. It's like, fuck off.
Is this your long way of saying you support Diddy?
Oh God, that's been shaken to me to my core.
I know, it's crazy.
It's crazy. There's a comedian named Christian Durano had a joke about Kim Kardashian, and he was like, everyone's like, oh, she only got what she got because of the sex tape. And he was like, but I've watched a million sex tapes and I've never been like, I wonder what her sister's up to. And it's like, he was like, she made you interested in her family. Like, that's Italian. And I thought that was such a good point too, because it's like, there's so many.
Isn't that the female plight in general? Just like, fuck me, but I'd like you to be interested into my family.
And she nailed that.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, there's so many people that have made, or when people talk about Chelsea Handler, I remember I've heard people saying like, she's, has slept with lots of people, and it's like, okay, but maybe tons of people did, and then she still had to deliver,
Totally, yeah.
Like, imagine there's plenty of people that did it and then it didn't. She kept coming back from
they
her
weren't good enough to
nowhere. Like, I always think about too with the advice when people are like, be yourself, and it's like, well, you only hear that from people who them being themselves, it worked out. But there's a million people who they were themselves.
Yeah.
But I think about
Don't hear from them.
Sasha Grey. Do you remember Sasha Grey?
Yes.
She was like a porn star and like
forgot about her.
and like a hardcore. I
Right.
think a lot of people might have forgotten about her, but she was like a hardcore porn star, but like hardcore.
Right.
And then she
man.
got. I mean, like.
She was hardcore. Yeah.
But I mean, just yeah. And
Doing all the stuff. I haven't watched any of her stuff.
But like even like Mia Khalifa, I don't think she was doing like Sasha Grey was doing like intense bondage and vomiting and all sorts of stuff, and then became an actor.
Yes,
and was in Entourage and had like a full career. And I'm like, the talent. Listen, I'm sure a lot of porn stars wish they could enter mainstream media.
Absolutely,
the talent and the navigation of how. Because once you do porn, once you show yourself naked, once you show yourself having an orgasm on film, you got to be real smart to somehow like get back into mainstream.
Absolutely,
to get onto a show. And like that's talent.
I
And
wonder what happened to her.
I'm sure she's got a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think the challenge with that job is there's just like at a certain point you get older,
right?
And then people just stop tuning in,
right? I never tune in for like porn stars. I always like amateur porn, so I haven't watched any. Wouldn't watch anything for porn stars.
Well, what's your balance?
I can go back in worlds, but I like an amateur now and then. But I also think that I don't follow a certain person because there's something to me. Doesn't feel special. It feels like I don't want to know. I don't want to like follow like an artist. Does that make sense? I want to like. Occasionally, I'll find myself going back to someone, but
even a pro.
Even a pro.
I totally go through I could be like,
you fall in love.
2014, the year of Tory Lane. That like Tory Lane just did it for me then. And every once in a while you go back and you go like, were you pulling up? Oh, what was this? I thought you were pulling up Tory Lane. I was like, no, please, we don't need that. Sasha Grey. What does it say?
This is why she decided to leave the porn industry, but she also hasn't popped up in acting either.
But then some porn star like Nina Hartley is someone like she was doing porn at the beginning and now then became MILF and then G-MILF and then does like instructional.
G-MILF was Grandma MILF?
What's a G-MILF?
Grandma MILF?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't watch any of the. I watch because I'll always watch amateur stuff. I'll watch lots of ones with like older guys. I'll watch older women too. But I wouldn't.
Sure.
I'd watch something with grandma, but I haven't. But
I don't like when it's labeled MILF. It doesn't like even if it is a
barely legal.
No, I just don't like that. Because it's usually in the context of someone in the stepson or something like that.
I like that.
And I don't like that.
I do like that.
Takes me out.
I like that. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, if I'm watching a porn, I want to know how they're related.
No, I know that's big for you.
No, I completely agree because I like Taboo and I like Desire, so it's like anything they have to like overcome to then like raw sexual energy be together. But I'll follow some couples. Mm-hmm. Like there's a couple both my girlfriend and I like because they seem really into each other. Like I want someone that I really believe wants to get fucked and then someone fucks them. That's like so if it's a not an amateur porn, I'm not buying it.
And you're more like you want one to really not want to be doing this.
I get that too. I get that too. I'll go through phases with that. You just want no one that wants to beat it. Maybe that's why you're having erection problems because you're watching porn where no one wants to do it.
Pornhub search is no.
Oh God.
Oh my God. Let me just look at the.
Sasha Grey.
Yeah,
I found I don't have a thing though. I feel like I'll just go to Pornhub and then you just kind of click around for a little bit.
always do.
I don't have like a thing in my head that I click
Really?
always. Not really.
You just
No.
see what it serves. That I always.
I go to the home thing and then sometimes you'll go.
algorithm's gotten better.
Sometimes you'll go, the algorithm, and then sometimes you'll be like, "What's happening way back there?" And you
I've
click
never done
some
that.
pages. You know,
it can't be good. Why is
what is no one looking at these
Yeah.
days?
Find the porn video with one view. Oh,
It was
my
you
God.
months before doing it. I've never done that.
That would be honestly a good search, a new porn site where it's like we the
found
front
the
page,
stuff.
the people that have between 0 and 10 views.
Right, neat, really,
Yeah.
not even niche stuff, but
Nah,
just
just
the
like-
unfollowed.
Wouldn't
Yeah.
it be cool? I've
Really
said this
boring.
before, but you see these porn videos and they say, more videos than all our stand-up
Right.
videos combined, and you go, "Oh my God, this has 8 million views, all these things." Wouldn't it be cool if there was a way you put on your phone and you sit down next to someone and it just said like, "Hey, you guys watch the same porn."
I would love that.
Because I've never like truly even as like as a guy, and occasionally when guys like are alone, we'll talk about porn a little, but it's very rare that we're like, "Hey, you watch that new one?"
I
with the
know.
thing?"
Yeah, you're right. We
It's
never.
because it's such an erotic thing to share porn. So like that would be hard to not then also make if you don't want that erotic energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also get being like, hey, if you like dirty talk or you like this or that, then you might like this porn. But it's like also very unlikely that you'd be showing them something that they wouldn't like. I feel like it'd have to be like really niche or like really dark or just something where it's like you would think that they wouldn't be finding it on their own. Do you know what I mean?
Can I tell you the movie idea that we all thought of when we were on shrooms?
Yeah, please.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
I
And
think
was it
it's-
just the two of you?
No, two other
Tova?
friends.
Two other guys. No,
Okay.
not Tova. Not for this particular movie idea. No.
No, two other friends.
So it was the idea was.
Wait, you're going to give out the idea for free. Okay.
It's that good? You're worried about it?
What if it's the idea she pitched the agent that one time?
Oh my God. I wouldn't even remember.
yeah.
So it's about 4 guys
Yep.
doing shrooms at a house,
Nice, nice.
and for some reason
In Joshua Tree.
Tree,
Secluded.
really nice. For some reason, and this is probably the biggest plot hole. We
Comedy
have.
or horror film?
A little both.
A little both.
Okay.
For some reason, Sydney Sweeney owns the place that we Airbnb.
Okay.
She comes in and she goes, "Hey, I'm gonna go in that bedroom. I'm gonna fuck one of you. And you guys have to decide who's it gonna be."
Ooh.
And it's about 4 guys
Debating.
all debating why it should be them.
That's
Who
kinda
gets to have sex
Yeah.
with Sydney Sweeney. Now, why she has decided this?
Why is she a landlord?
Or maybe it's a really feminist movie somehow, and we all end up killing each other. Like we all
Right.
end up killing each other, and it's a
And
way
no
to
one
like
does it,
finally
yeah.
take care of get rid of the men.
Yeah, that's just offer to have sex and then they're all gonna die.
And it starts funny and jokey, and then like it just gets more serious. I'm like, "Hey, don't shove me."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it's a drug fueled kind of like
Yeah.
You're on shrooms.
And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
we all kill each other, and she cuts to her and she's smiling.
I've seen worse. I've seen worse
Yeah.
movies.
you know.
Can you imagine seriously if we could pitch that one day? as like a
To
real
Sydney
movie?
Sweeney.
What? Let me see what Sydney Sweeney looks like, if you don't mind.
Can you
Is
see
that
what
someone
Sydney
that
Sweeney
I,
looks
I'm
like?
don't
bad
know.
with names? Is this someone
Russell,
that you guys
show her
have a
your
crush
background
on?
your phone.
Is this
You
someone that you guys? I don't know.
Emma.
I know the name. I know the name.
What do you mean you
I
don't
know
know?
the name.
That's like saying you don't know what Marilyn Monroe looks like at the time of Marilyn Monroe.
That's Sydney Sweeney?
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah. She looks great. What was she in?
She's in
Emma, are you
Euphoria.
of the world? What
She's
are you
in
I
talking
haven't seen
about?
Euphoria.
She was in White Lotus. She's in movies now
My
too.
girlfriend watched White Lotus. I didn't get into it. Yeah, she's cute. She's cute.
I mean, she's one of the biggest movie stars in the world right now.
Not familiar.
You can use her. Here's how big she is.
You think those breasts are real?
You could use her as a
They are.
punchline. You
And
could use her
everyone
as a
would know.
punchline, and everyone would know.
They are real. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? You yeah.
I mean, but you said
Those
it
are
like
huge.
Russell said it.
Been there, done that.
Russell knows more about Sydney Sweeney's breasts than you do about the skin injections that you've been getting.
Fair. They look those. That's a hard to tell if it's real. I've been with quite a few people with fake breasts. I mean, for those to be real and her to be that slim body build, but they do kind of look real too. I mean, wow. Good for her. That's they do look real. You're right. You're right. The way they're unless you had a really good person.
Unless boobs were like incredibly fake, I do not think I'd be able to tell the difference.
You would.
Because
you feel like when you touch it, and if you really if they're into like having you like hit them at all, you feel there's like a buoyancy.
I
That's
didn't know
different.
my mom had fake boobs,
but you didn't.
But you weren't hitting them, were you?
You feel like there's like even the ones that are like really, they're all well done. Every boob is beautiful. It's like even if you're really, you'll feel the implant.
My little sister, my mom told me that my little sister has a regular sized breast.
Sure.
And I guess at some point when she was younger, she was like, oh, well, they're going to grow in like moms.
Right.
And my mom had to be like, oh, sweetheart.
Oh, but they're not.
This is not our genetics.
Oh, your mom had fake boobs the whole time.
I don't know if later, like a post fourth child
right.
thing. She talked to me. She said like there was some like general. There
But
was
not
some
what
like
she was-
after the fourth pregnancy, once you decide no more kids, you do like an upgrade. It was like the trend or
Right.
whatever.
And
Well,
it wasn't while you were breastfeeding?
No.
That could be a
no.
funny thing to write about because there'd have to be something going on.
My dad, the movie he wants me to write, and this is all he gave me. He said it's called My Wife's Boob Job, and it's because I know he's paid for a lot of fake.
Yes.
Oh my wow!
At least two exes that come to mind.
But
What happens in the movie?
Yeah, yeah.
He left me a voicemail once. I still have it. I could play it once on a
Those are
Patreon.
expensive.
Well, how much are they?
I think they're like $30,000. A good boob job,
Like for two.
That explains why he was so late with my voice lesson payments.
I think they're really expensive.
There's-
Anywhere
Yeah,
from
let's look it up.
10 at the most inexpensive to 30, I believe.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure. I mean,
What does it say?
4,000.
The average breast lift.
Breast
Because
lift.
something like I think it's like 20. I think they're really expensive. I mean, if it makes you feel more power to you, if you're
Yeah.
whatever. I would say I've always been into. Sometimes people do lose sensation in their nipple if they get a boob job, but if it makes them feel better, then I think that the more comfortable with your body you feel, the
Wouldn't
more
be a bummer
sexed
to
up.
lose
I
that
think so.
sensation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then people might want to suck on them, and then you go like, it's not doing
And
anything.
and
It's
you
like
can
sucking
feel
my
it.
thumb.
You can feel it if you're doing that to someone and they're like not. It's like you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
well then what the fuck? So it's like
I once was very
feels
high.
performative.
I was very high, and I was with a woman, and at some point she said, "Okay, that's enough with the boob." And
I feel like I've had that too. Actually,
You're just like,
I got deja vu when you said that.
and you're like, time is weird when you're high
Right.
sometimes too. So you're like, how long
Yeah.
were you at that tip?
Days.
Like,
I just, man, oh man.
Yeah, it's hard to bounce back from
all
that. I
right,
feel like I've
that's
had that.
enough with the
Or you
poop.
feel someone like move your head in a way where it's not like it's like they're just like done with it.
Yeah, like move
And you're
along.
Like, yeah, and you're like,
Move
okay,
along.
All right. It's tough. The nipple, because the sensation in the nipple can vary so drastically.
Yeah.
Someone can be very sensitive. Someone can
Yeah. Let's go to our next segment. This has got to stop.
This has got to stop.
This has got to stop. Something that needs to go away, come to an end, is annoying you. Russell, do you have anything?
Go first.
You have that Lady Gaga one too.
What? Oh yeah, what was that?
I took a screenshot of it.
Oh yeah, thank you. Oh yes. Okay, so this is my this has got to stop. Let me just pull up the screenshot.
I thought I had it. Oh no, it's in our text. Okay, keep talking.
Okay.
Just set it up.
Well, okay, so I'll set it up. So sometimes there's this thing with Lady Gaga where she'll be like, there was a Facebook.
You want to read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
I had a boyfriend who told me I'd never succeed, never be nominated for a Grammy, never have a hit, and hoped I'd fail. I said to him, someday when we're not together, you won't be able to order a cup of coffee at the fucking deli without hearing or seeing me. Okay, number one, we don't know if she said this.
We don't know if he.
We don't know if he said this.
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't even know if she said it.
Right.
It's in the graphic.
That's-
that doesn't mean she
that's
said
true.
it.
That's
but
true.
there's a degree where I'm like, if your boyfriend, no one says out of the blue you'll never be nominated for a Grammy. May I offer that he said, hey, can you remember to flush after you take a shit? Listen, I'm trying to win a Grammy over here. I'm
Right.
trying to win a Grammy over here.
Okay, well, you're not going to win a
must have
Grammy
brought
today.
Up the Grammy a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
If your boyfriend said in any realm, you're never going to win a Grammy.
And
It
it's
is,
like
yeah.
my and then also like there's this famous thing that she had a Facebook group that was like you're never going to be famous in college. And I was like, if you have that many people
That her detractors made.
that
Okay.
people were like Stephanie, what's her real name? Stephanie
Yeah, they
something.
literally made a Facebook group that said,
And they were like, you're
"You'll
never going to be famous. But I'm like, and people will use it as like she proved them wrong. And I'm like, if there's that many people in your life that are like so against you being famous, you must have been so fucking annoying
Absolutely.
and terrible to be around. Because
that's okay.
listen, no one has ever said to my face, Russell Daniels, you're never gonna be a professional actor. No one would ever say that.
Right.
Like there's no reason
No one
to.
said that to me, and I'm annoying.
I mean, it would be like, can you imagine like the things you'd have to be doing for
People to form a group.
probably like, oh, God
And
damn,
it's the thing where I
stop.
want to say to her fans, I'm like, if you had known her when
Right.
she was not famous and apparently singing Defying Gravity during lunch
Sure.
every day, you would not have liked her.
Right.
So
Well, they
so,
might
like,
have, but you know.
No,
they get
not
to-
all these people.
They're enjoying her in a context that it sounds like maybe she was pushing it on
Yes, there's a
people
new
little bit.
context of
Right.
like when someone's famous, then it's like, oh, well, they could have been kind of crazy or pushy or hard to work with or like all those things. Once you become famous, all those things are okay.
It's
and she's
forgiven.
great.
Yeah.
Listen,
Right.
I will stand.
I'm a fan.
I'm a fan. I think one of the greats.
Yes.
One of the greats.
You
I
wouldn't
think-
have been in the Facebook
I think
group.
the number of no, but
Oh,
I
but
might
you
have
may
been.
be. You might have been.
I might
Right,
have been.
right.
But guess what? Sometimes the really great people
Right.
are fucking annoying.
Could have been imagine it's like your Uber driver and they like won't let you get out of the car until you say like you sign something like I think you're gonna make it, and then you feel so annoyed
Oh,
that
God.
you're late because of that, and they pushed it on you. Then you get out and you go, they're never gonna fucking make it. Like that would get you jazzed up.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga has done enough art already in her career and made enough cool decisions that if we found out she was the fucking biggest monster in the world,
Right.
the talent is of the level that I go, that's fine.
That is a question though. Then there could be something where you go there that's so unforgivable.
You could tell me that her forehead was made out of a dead baby skin that she killed.
I would oof.
And I would say Poker Face, that performance of Poker Face at the Grammys. You could tell me the blood that was used at that Poker Face performance, where paparazzi, I mean, the blood in her paparazzi, where she's like just blood, and you said those are all babies.
No.
I would go, it was a great performance though. Yeah. She's got my pass. Some artists
I'm not
have
as
pass.
big a fan. But like I understand.
She's
like
incredible.
she's a great artist.
I
Yeah.
think in terms of like, I mean, for some reasons the press people suddenly turned this on, but people were saying, that she was trans, and she said she made it a point to never like go out of the way to be like,
Right.
I'm not trans,
Right,
and I'm like,
yeah.
that's good, right
Yes.
move, that's the
Yes.
right
Totally,
move.
classy.
She made so many like right moves in the face of a big cultural movement that she gets a pass from me for.
She's
almost
got
anything.
a lot of credit. She's built up a lot of goodwill. Yeah.
Now, if she sang "Defying Gravity" while I was eating my lunch, I go, okay,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
babies was
You're
one
never
thing.
gonna
but
make
I'm gonna make that
goddamn.
Facebook group.
You're never gonna make it.
You're never gonna make it.
This has got to stop. We'll do this video that we programmed, since I always
Oh.
forget to. So this is from the Tonight Show.
Oh my God, I saw this clip.
Now
you
who's
see this? Oh man, this is that's
Is this
Demi
someone I should
Lovato?
know? Is it?
Demi Lovato.
Is
Yeah,
it really?
that's Demi Lovato.
Wait.
That's
One
Demi-
of the common things that I
I see
found,
that.
which was really interesting, was this thread of this common thread of disassociation. Fame is a privilege, but it's also traumatic to people anybody. It can be traumatic to anybody, but specifically minors. And I think that it was interesting talking to the participants of the film, because I noticed that there were chunks of memories chunks of times that we all don't remember. And I think that's a direct response to trauma.
Yeah. And what's out there that can be done or is being done right now?
First, she doesn't necessarily seem okay, actually. She seems like she's having a tough time.
Yeah, but that wasn't the point of the clip. But to me,
That cut.
that so succinctly captures the problem that I have with like all the late night talk shows.
Was
and
that
so
for
much
real, or was
comedy.
that superimposed on?
Emma, that
No,
was
that's
for
a real. That's a real.
No way.
Yeah.
Emma, that was real.
No way.
And this is my problem with it, where I go, there's no more perfect example of you want your comedy cake and you want to eat it too. You want to be a silly, funny thing and get all the goody points of you bring up an emotional thing. And that is literally, that's you. And now you have egg on your face.
Right.
I mean,
is he getting backlash for that?
Quite literally.
No, because he was doing a silly bit and then he had an interview. But it's like, yeah.
Take the stuff off when she starts talking about it. Something.
Well, as she brings up trauma, he's like, oh, but it's just, I think, why the trauma talk on the Tonight Show?
It's the new movie they're doing. It's a part of the movie.
I know it's the thing, but it's just something is wrong with late night entertainment right now, and I just think like that captures the true mix of
I get
inputs.
that.
I don't think it's like you can't talk about things like that on that thing, but I think it's the way it is now, because you used to see like sometimes you'll see like a clip from the 70s and it'll be like a 15-minute clip where there's a wild interview and you're like, hey, this is going they don't care what they're saying, like it's like a wild great interview, but you have more context for things and it's it's more interesting. Now it's like, okay, we're gonna have to talk and plug this thing, we're gonna have to play a silly game, and we're gonna also fit in your own like little thing, so the format doesn't provide for a real interesting conversation where that kind of thing could come out.
He's dressed up, so he shouldn't have been asking any questions about you know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's just that's not the time. That is not the time.
Can I say my cynical thought about just that movie itself? You know, have you
What
seen
movie?
the trailer?
I haven't seen the trailer. I know what you're talking about.
So it's a movie about child stars, and you know, in the vein of Quiet on Set,
documentary?
The Nickelodeon documentary.
Did you see the Quiet on Set?
I did see that. Yeah.
Where there's this degree of the shitty thought is I go like, oh, you got to live my dreams as a child.
I was just wondering if you were thinking that, like you're like, you still got cast.
And I go, yeah, I'm fucked up too.
Right.
And
do you think you resent them for dealing with the trauma?
First of all, like, no. I don't resent anyone. It's more just, I think it's the like, oh, not only do you get the money to support the trauma, but like the way that our world is built up, Hollywood, capitalism, the stories that are being told the most are the people who have the money and have the resources and have the power. And again, I'm not against this Demi doing their movie. I'm not against it, but there is just something in me that the cynical part that goes, you know what, the kid who was molested by the McDonald's manager, they don't get a movie made about them.
But this might make them feel less alone.
Really?
They did
go, oh my God.
They go, it wasn't just me.
Sure.
Also, there is that movie Compliance, which is the movie about the
is it literally about
movie.
a McDonald's manager?
Yeah.
I haven't heard about that.
Oh, well, it's a crazy story. Sorry, not to derail your thing, but basically a person.
But I hear you.
20-year-old movie that.
But I hear you.
Well, no, but this is a real story.
You know, it's incredible. It's psychological. It's like
psychological. Yeah, there's like this person was called like McDonald's and other things, and would accuse one of the employees, like say that they are a police officer, and they would make the managers like search their employee. They said they would.
I kind of remember this.
And it would be like, but it was fake. It was all fake, and it would make them strip search people, and so it was like they weren't there.
You know the famous experiment with the electrical shocks, and they say like, turn it higher, turn it higher, and they're screaming, and like it's just about, it's like, how did people become Nazis?
How could they?
Right.
Yeah.
Anyways, here's the second cynical thought I have with it is they always go like, there's a problem in Hollywood and it needs to be addressed, and I think I go, no one's addressing it. We're all you know why they're not addressing it? Because you all want your fucking kids in the movies, and you want Nickelodeon to keep pumping out the shows, and you're not dealing with the financial disparities, and you're not dealing with the TV industry. So it ends up just being a poor. It becomes a poor you fest, which at a certain point with celebrities, sometimes I go, okay, well, how much more love do you want from the world? Again, this is not specific to Demi, but I go, we are not changing Hollywood. No one's changing it. No one's made any difference. Nickelodeon is still paying their kids jack shit. They're still overworking. The unions aren't good.
Every once in a while, they get one person that we've all deemed as like bad enough, but like all people around them,
It's like they have to
know.
be proven to have already been so bad. So it's not like they're like, I see what you mean about they're not changing.
Yeah.
They're not saying, and this is what we're doing to move forward to make sure these people don't have access to kids.
And it's the same thing. It's the same thing with the kind of Epstein or Diddy, where it becomes like a centralized focal point, that it becomes more about the drama and like the palace intrigue of it all, and then nothing ever is actually dealt with. So I am unmoved by people's shock at like some of the things, because I go, well, you don't really care about fixing the system or the deeper things that allow for this to happen. What you're actually excited about is the palace intrigue of, oh my God, and so was they there, and were they there, and nothing will change, and there's more of them out there. It's not like there's this idea that like Diddy was like, well, that's the cancer of it all. It's
That's
like,
where it
no,
gets
the
really
cancer
tricky
is the whole goddamn body of
when
it
you
all.
try to make it seem like it's one figurehead or person.
Yeah.
Like when or someone were say my mom would be like, I hate Trump, and I'm like, but he doesn't exist alone. Like there's not, if you take that person out, like there's a whole ideology that they are just representing.
Yeah.
So I see what you mean about that. What could we do? What should they do?
I don't know.
Okay, but something.
I don't have like I don't have. It's just like, I just think to watch Jimmy like put on his to put on his, and also it's oh wow, I am and I go like, you're not feeling it.
Right.
You're not feeling it. You got cake on your face. Because here's what a human being does. I feel like such an idiot having cake on my face.
Right, while you're telling me
while
this.
You're telling me this.
Yes.
To not get a towel.
Right.
To me is in your mind, you're like, well, I guess. I mean, it's crazy.
That's crazy. That's a crazy clip.
Crazy.
I'm surprised she didn't come out and say,
if I was alone and I had cake on my face and you told me some traumatic story, I'd get a paper towel and wipe it away.
Yeah.
you go, I'm so sorry. Do you want some cake?
I mean, I feel like there is an awareness. It's all around weird. Like, I feel like if I was telling you something, I would also be like, you have cake on your face. I realize this is a very strange, this is a very strange.
There's such a denial of what's going on in the room in that scene.
Totally
while
toned
trying
down.
to
All
hold on
the
to
audience, everyone.
the deepest sincerity you could. And something about it all rings so hollow and fake to me.
And what is funny is the camera person. That is so funny though, that they held it long enough, and then just like that cut is so good.
I'm sure
That
there
is
was a
quite the
PA at the
reveal.
side.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was a PA at the side, but like,
Yeah.
and I'm sure one day they ran on and it's in the
Hey, but we love the
Reveal.
Tonight Show.
We
So
love The Tonight Show.
we're big fans.
big fans. Man, I've burned it all. Emma, do you have this got to stop?
Okay, my gotta stop is
This has got to stop.
is I don't like it when people, if you meet someone and they say we've met before and they say it in a really harsh way. I hate that.
Yes.
Because I've had that before too, where I've met someone and then they don't remember, and then I hate it when someone does the snap, like, well, we've met before, actually. I really don't like that. Just yes and it, go with it. I used to hate when people stretched at weird times, but I've become one of those people. Because I wrote down people that stretch at weird times. Like,
That's me, baby.
You know what I mean? Where someone just starts doing it on the subway. But I don't hate that anymore. So that is not one that I hate.
What you mean? You stopped hating it from the time you wrote this down?
No, I was
She's been
writing
collecting
it out
this
because it was
stuff.
something I thought of that I really didn't like. But then I was like, be honest with yourself. You do that too. I hate it when people still don't say, I do it too. You gotta, as you get older, sometimes you get a little crick. You gotta,
yeah,
get it
the
out.
ankle.
Gotta get it out. I hate it when people don't say thank you or acknowledge you in any way when you hold the door for them or something.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Just even a grunt is fine. Or if you make weird eye contact with someone. If I make weird eye contact with someone at the gym, I go, say we're about to walk into each other, I go, oh, I don't like it. If they don't, keeping it neutral is fine. But if I've had people go like, and make a weird face.
Yeah.
I go, no. You were about
Yeah.
to fucking walk into me, and I just try to make it pleasant. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree too. Those are good.
Let's go on to our final segment. You better count your blessing.
You better count your blessing.
One thing has not changed from that episode so long ago, and it is our music. Douglas Goodhart. on the
Douglas
keys.
Goodhart.
Wait, Paige did send me. So Paige, our producer, Paige Asachika, sends me. We now do a thing now where she sends me like a little thing about you, some fun facts. But she also said, so you were on May 11th, 2021, And here were the here was one of the New York Times headlines from that day. Israel and Hamas agreed to end a brief war that reverberated worldwide.
Wow.
U.S. looks to rebuild Gaza, but aid could hinge on Hamas's rocket arsenal. So it was still, and Paul Mooney died. Paul Mooney died.
The comedian.
So I was gonna say better times, but all times are bad.
Yeah. Wow.
Do you have a blessing?
Yeah. I guess it was so nice going to the show and getting dinner with you. It's been a while since we got to like do like a dinner and not like a work thing, I feel like, or not like a show thing or
it's so weird, dude. I mean, it's just like I went to dinner and it was like I had a story I wanted to tell, and then you're like, oh, I should save it for the podcast, but then you're like, Gianmarco, be a human being,
right?
But then you didn't really tell me the full thing.
I know, because I had it in my head and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna save this for the Aparna episode.
Oh, you wanted to get your real reaction.
Okay, well. But we got to have dinner. We went and saw a show. We saw Big Gay Jamboree. It's so much fun. Some friends from Titanic
Natalie
involved.
Walker's in it.
Marla,
3 guests of the pod are in the show. Marla, Connie, and Natalie Walker.
Natalie Walker's not been on.
Natalie Walker's been on Theater Adult. So people on the feed, they know her from
but
that.
we should get her for the podcast.
For sure. I just don't want to like overcrowd.
Yeah.
But yeah, she'd be great. So go see Big Gay Jamboree.
Yes, it's great.
It's either off Broadway or hopefully moves to Broadway.
It's very, very good. Very funny. It's great.
So good. And it Alex Moffat's in it for SNL.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Yeah, it's cool.
Great cast.
Is it a musical?
It's meta. Yeah, it's musical. It's like a meta. It's real musical. But even if you don't like musicals, it like comments on it in a way that you can also hate on musicals too. And
it's
fun.
very, very funny.
It's fun. It's gay.
Yeah.
It's got niche jokes for New Yorkers too, but it's also you could bring a family member to it.
Yeah.
Good dancing, good singing, just fun.
Yeah. So good.
And you guys went out to dinner. That's nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, it was so nice.
Yeah.
I want Russell to let his wife on the podcast, but Russell doesn't like it when she speaks too much, I guess.
No, it's just like, you want to like, it's just like too many. I don't want to like, it's too many things. You like to keep some things to yourself.
I get that idea.
Yeah.
So let's see. I got some real. I had a good college gig, and
that's
listeners
great.
of the pod will know that I had a bad one.
Yeah.
And this one, like, it got me back in. I feel okay. The bad one, it was mostly freshman orientation, so they were mostly freshmen.
The worst show of my life was a college freshman orientation. The worst show, University of South Carolina, upstate freshman orientation. 4 p.m. while the popcorn machines are going off. They had me and a magician each doing hours.
2 hours.
2 hours.
Jesus Christ.
And I tried, normally whatever the time is, okay, fine. But I was like, do you want me, how would you feel about 45 minutes? And I was like, when I get them, then I'll bring up the magician. And they're like 2 hours. It was the worst. There's something about an orientation. The kids are so uncomfortable. They don't want to be doing it. It's
not cool.
Brutal.
It's not cool to laugh. Big.
Not cool to
it's
laugh.
Not cool to go.
No.
You're a weirdo. And like it's weird. Honestly, I had a thought because listen, a lot of these college shows they want to talk about sex at some point. They want some sex jokes. But as I'm talking to these freshmen, I'm like,
feels weird.
Some of you guys haven't fucked.
Right.
They're scared.
Some of you guys haven't fucked. And also sometimes I'll be saying, and I'm like, is this allowed?
Totally.
Yeah, you're a full adult. You're like, some of them might be 17 and you're like, let me tell you about sex, kids.
What are we doing?
Yeah, what is going on?
So this one I started right out the gate. I did a round of applause here, freshman, round of applause here, sophomore, junior, senior.
Great.
And I was like, oh, that's why I need to know that. It's good to know.
Yes.
And it was just like great crowd. They opened it up to outsiders too. It wasn't that many, but enough.
Sure.
And just University of Colorado in Boulder. Everyone was great. They let me sell merch. People bought merch. I lowered all the prices because these college kids. But it was just
fun.
like fun. They wanted pictures and they wanted to do like their weird, their 0.5 pictures or whatever the fuck, and it's like some weird pose and one fusion from Dragon Ball Z. And I was like, it's fun. I felt good.
It felt like a real show. We were like, this was a college show, but also it can be like productive and fun too.
Yeah.
That's when college shows are great.
But let me tell you, when I got that college show, I really do feel that I'm like, you're a 36-year-old man.
I know.
You're a 36-year-old man. You're an adult to these persons.
Right.
More than an adult. Like
I don't mind it except the freshman orientation. Like I can go in and be like, okay, these are just kids. Like you're just gonna like bounce around. Like I'll do more crowd work at a college show than any.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But something about freshman orientation makes them feel so dramatically younger.
Yeah.
It was so bad, dude.
Truly the worst shows ever have been freshman orientations. I've done a few of them, and I'll probably do one again.
Listen,
Brutal.
Got one more in you.
The other blessing is the money.
I know that if they really do. I'm doing a NACA. I haven't done one in years.
I've never gotten into a NACA. I did a Zoom NACA, but I never got in.
They did over the pandemic. I did them, and then I submitted, and I didn't get in for years, and then I stopped submitting, and then this year I'm gonna do one, which is gonna be interesting.
Sure.
It feels a little weird. I mean, you're showcasing for college kids in like a cafeteria.
After doing the APCA, I'm always just so skeptical. You have to pay a lot of money.
APCA's
you get in.
brutal.
But APCA, like the comedians who got booked, it was like some guy did some terrible sketch comedy character, but then he put up on the screen, it was a list of all the impressions he could do. And you go up to him after the show and you go, The Rock. And he goes with a selfie, makes a story like, can you smell what University of Colorado is cooking? And it's like, I'm like, he's every college and I'm getting 3.
And the person one time I remember doing a NACA and people were running by me and I was like, what? And then this person that I'd become friends with that was a college agent, she came over, she was like, hey, I wanted to find you, like, don't feel bad, like, you can't compete with, and I was like, with what? And she was like, you don't know about Dan cakes? And I was like, no. She's like, they make a face of the kids in the pancake. And she's like, kids. And I was like, are you kidding me? So on the last day I stood in line to see Dan cakes and I get up and it was like the best piece of art I've ever seen. And I was like, oh, he's good.
Yeah.
But he literally just makes your face on a pancake.
Hey, you can't compete
People lose their fucking mind. Dan cakes. The kids are running by. Like, I remember feeling pretty good about it. And then, wait, Molly, wait. No, I'm going to get in line for Dan cakes. That was the last NACA I did.
If you try to compete, so this one you go back and you make a sandwich.
Something.
Like during the act, you do crowd work and you're like, you look like lettuce.
Right. Anything. And then do it. Maybe. It's at the end of October. I'm going to do that NACA.
Dan cakes. I'm going to look them up.
Dan cakes.
Honestly, what's so funny is as you say it, I'm like, I want to see my face.
I know.
He's fucking talented.
How is he doing it?
He's talented. He moves quick. And it tastes good.
You gotta.
Do you have a blessing?
Okay, my blessing is I'm so grateful that I have all my teeth because I was thinking about that since the last time I was on. And I'm grateful that I know that I can't predict the future because I used to always like so tightly try to control like what's going to happen and when's it going to happen. And then I get frustrated. But if there's one thing I learned about not having that tooth, you can't predict how and when it's going to go. And I'm grateful that I can go with the flow better now.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I'm grateful for my teeth.
Well, I'm not there yet. So you guys, I'm predicting that you're all going to subscribe to the Spotify.
You got to subscribe to this. Oh, so easy to do. I'll do it right now
It's
myself.
so easy.
It's so easy. A movement of a thumb. We're all scrolling anyway.
Yeah.
I'm subscribed to Emma's podcast, which doesn't
even exist anymore.
And I'm subscribed to it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Let's go on to Spotify.
Spotify will put the link in the things. Join the Patreon if you can. You get 2 bonus Patreon episodes. We just released, I guess it'll be further back now, but footage from our live tour.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to give you, I think we might do a live Zoom. Just one time.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Wait,
would we see the people?
We could.
Okay.
Boom! There, I just did it. See, I did it, and I wasn't not even with 2 hands.
Thank you.
What do you want to plug? This is coming up October 22nd.
All my tour dates, I'm going to start touring again in the spring, will be at www.IamEmmaWillmann.com, and I was most recently in the movie Ezra with Bobby Cannavale, which you should be able to get now.
Oh, wow.
He was awesome. That guy's a good actor.
He's great.
Talk about attractive in person. He's gorgeous in person.
I forget how much acting you've done. Do you like it?
I love acting, and I've been taking a lot of acting classes so that makes me appreciate it more. But I was like very, very, very hyper conscious of the fact that I hadn't taken. Once I like started doing it more, like that I hadn't taken acting classes.
Can I tell you what I realized with the stand up is like. I act in my stand-up in a certain kind of way. And I think I'm like, oh, I like to be able to act and comment on it at the same time.
Totally.
I think sometimes I'm so
it's so
ADD,
much more. I think it's more empowering.
So ADD, or I'm so like neurotic, or I'm so like, this is bullshit, that when I'm trying to act, I'm always fighting this voice that's like, you're lying. What is this? You're trying. I'm trying to feel. I want to feel so bad. And you're not. And then when I do it on stage, I'm like, I'm acting and I am acting, but I'm also like, I get to then turn and it's something about that. I'm like, oh, this is the kind of acting I like to do.
It's so much more fun, and it's I agree with that. And you have like the real time like adrenaline. Even though there's adrenaline when you're on set with people, it's different. Like it's like everyone's it's like don't screw this up, don't screw it up and make a real moment. And it's like those are two very intense things versus like entertain me, which is intense too, but more fun.
Yeah. What acting technique? What school?
I've been
of
doing the
thought do you
Burrow
like?
group, and then I was always taking audition classes, and then I was like I have to take classes where it's like try to like learn how to like. I mean, I've done the ones where it's like you practice like moving your phone and just like be very aware of. I've done those ones. I mean,
those are hard at a certain point because you're like, well, I got to go to set tomorrow and like
Right.
yell
I
at
gotta
Bobby
learn these
Cannavale.
lines.
So
Yeah.
forget the phone thing. Forget the looking at the fourth
Right.
wall and the clock is there every time.
totally. He made it easy though because he's such a good actor. So then it's like just responding to him.
Yeah.
I've only
Yeah.
got a couple lines in it, but that was my experience.
What was one
with
of your
it.
lines? Give us a taste.
This woman came over and we're all pretending to flirt, and then she leaves, and I go, "Oh, if she was just even a little gay," and then a bunch of guys go, "Ooh."
You guys got to see
gotta
it.
see it.
Where
Yeah,
does it
see
go
it.
next? How do the guys respond?
Respectfully.
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 What would you like to plug?
End of October. Follow me at Russell J. Daniels on Instagram, and I don't remember exactly when the Uncle Function show is in November, but it's in New York for New York Comedy Fest, and I will plug the exact date in the future.
Just so you know, we're going to do this at the end of every episode.
I know, and I keep forgetting to look up that date. And don't worry, it's gonna get by the next
People are
time.
at home like, I want to go so badly.
I
But
just
I'm
don't know what
sure
it is.
it'll
Just
be.
won't say the
I'll have
date.
links in my Instagram, so just
Okay, I will be in Raleigh, North Carolina this, not this weekend. This weekend's my anniversary. No work.
Congrats.
Thank you. 4 years.
Wait, in
That's
October.
great. That's I've been with my girlfriend 4 years too. It's my longest relationship.
Yeah.
4 years. Good for you.
Thank you.
That's exciting.
Thank you.
It's a good thing to celebrate too.
Yeah. We're gonna do Raleigh, North Carolina the weekend after. This is November 1st through the 3rd. Bloomington, Indiana, Indianapolis, and then DC, baby. Let's sell this out. Let's add some shows. DC, November 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. Stay safe, please. Do not take any medical advice from
Please.
this podcast.
Seriously.
Please.
This
Yes.
is The Downside.
1, 2, 3. Downside. Downside. You're listening to The Downside
The Downside.
with Gianmarco Soresi.